Welcome to Parkinsons, an athlete's journey. I'm Eric von Frohlich, founder of EVF Fitness and Row House, training with Parkinsons since 2020.
And I'm Todd, Vogt, Paralympic rower and coach, training with Parkinsons since 2017. Together, we compare notes on training, recovery, mindset, and what it takes to keep showing up. Let's get to it.
This podcast is not medical advice. Talk to your clinician before changing training, meds, or supplements. So what kind of day you having, bud?
It's all right, fine. All right, so let's see. I have this little bit of shoulder tendonitis. I saw my physical therapist yesterday. I didn't do any damage. I was a little worried I hurt it, like badly, but it's just, I just have a little bit of like rotator cuff tendonitis, but it's not too bad. He just like, don't row for a week and then ease back in with rowing next week. So I'll be on the bike this week, which is fine.
All right.
So,
it's nice when you get the doctor's note not to row.
yeah, exactly. Today I was on the Echo bike and the Concept 2 bike, kicking my own butt.
Well, I'm heading to the gym as soon as we get out of here.
Oh, nice. What are you able to do right now?
Well, I got signed off yesterday on my shoulder and my bicep. My doctor told me he was very proud of the work he's done and it's a complete success. And
Cool.
I told him I need to rearrange my expectations on what my success looks like because it's not quite in alignment with his enthusiasm. But it's good to know that I can maybe approach some more intensity in my training and get some of my strength back without fear of doing any damage.
That's good.
So that's good news. So basically he said, go back to your life. So I'll pick up pickleball this week.
That's cool.
I'll go back to jiu-jitsu and I'll start, training a little heavier with a little more intensity in the gym. But it's kind of funny because the cardiologist that I saw yesterday was basically, I had a meeting to have a plan to make a plan. He's the cardiologist for the ablation if I need to have one to reset my rhythm.
Yeah.
But I have to do a CT scan first or an angiogram to sign off on why the lower part of my heart isn't getting enough blood flow.
Okay.
So I have to see that doctor who's also a cardiologist. I have to see him before I see the guy that I saw yesterday. So I basically went to the office to make a plan that I would circle back with him after I see the other doctor, which was a waste of time and incredibly frustrating, but it's just part of the process. I'm excited to get back after everything, but when people ask how you doing, I always feel compelled to give like an honest answer, and it just always ends up coming out as like a complaint that things aren't good enough. So I think I'm going to have to change my mantra and just kind of like fake it till I make it and just kind of lie a little bit so it doesn't sound like all I do is complain about what's not working.
All right, this is you. There's a bigger question here. Having Parkinson's, everybody's like, how you doing? And you don't want to be like, well, my tremor's worse. My left foot's not working today. So most of the time I'm like, most of the time I'm doing all right, Because how much do people really want to know especially when you have Parkinson's, and you're
right. Well, they stop asking eventually, right?
Yeah. So I end up just saying like, yeah, I'm doing all right, So
I think that's the attitude to take is no one wants the details.
Yeah, no one wants the reality. I could barely sleep last night because my tremor was bothering me, and my shoulder hurts, and my left foot's not working this morning. Like nobody wants to hear that. I don't know. That's my thought.
Exactly.
So
I feel the same way. So I'm gonna take a tip from you and go with everything's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the answer too. Yeah, that's the most common thing I say.
But part of it is just aging also, and conflating aging with Parkinson's is complicated. So I run into my friends who are my age, and they're kind of complaining about stuff, but not really. It just kind of I seem to forget that at a certain point things just don't work as well as they used to.
True. I think I can define in my head like what symptoms are. I'm sure you probably feel the same way. Like you probably know your body really well. One thing I think is helpful for when you have a medical condition is being an athlete. Like you're really in tune with your body. Like I know the way things should feel, when they're feeling good at, normal. So I can generally feel like I can identify like what's Parkinson's, what are things that are just like me getting old. Okay, like when my back is sore in the morning when I wake up, for example, I think that's just getting old. Like I've been rowing since I was 19 or 18. My back is going to be sore every morning when I get up from here on out, basically, you know?
That's true. But you can still row.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That loosens up within 20 minutes, you know? So I guess my point is like that physical situation is just a fact of aging.
Well, the past couple of days have been doctor's appointments and walking the dog, and
Yeah.
I've been trying to get to the gym, but the gym has evaded me, despite my best efforts.
Yeah.
So I need to double down and get back to the gym. I walked a lot the last 2 days,
That's good.
and did some stretching,
Oh,
but
no.
nothing that we would normally consider a workout.
That's fine. You know,
Well, I'm looking forward to getting back after it and things being sore for the right reasons.
yeah, no doubt. I feel you.
Glad we tapped into that. How much truth can people handle?
Yeah, for sure. It depends on the people I'm talking to as well. I don't know. Some acquaintances, you're just like, I'm doing fine. Sometimes I'm even like, it's a little tough talking to family members too and loved ones because you don't want to overburden them as well, right?
No, that's for sure.
So,
Totally agree. All right, what else you got for today?
so one thing I've been doing, I've been on the Concept 2 bike. One thing that Concept 2 does is great is they have an online logbook for like any difference, any like distance, speed, so you can see the rankings for like 20 years back, and you can do a workout. So you can compare yourself to anybody. Like if you want to just jump on and do a 500-meter piece, you can look at the rankings and see where that puts you. And then you're like, okay, that puts me 457 in the world out of 600 or whatever. So anyways,
Right.
so they had a workout. They have a workout of the day. So I was doing the workout of the day. I was like 16th, 17th in the world on today's bike workout. Woo! I was very proud of that.
Nice.
Yeah, the Concept 2 bike, for
Very
whatever reason,
cool.
I can rip it on it. So that's like, if I can't row, I'm just going to smash myself on the Concept 2 bike. Yeah,
That's an impressive. That's a pretty impressive number. So what was the workout and what was the time?
it's 5 minutes on, 2 minutes rest, 4 minutes on, 2 minutes rest, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2 minutes rest in between. So I average like 146 pace, 145 pace, something like that. But I did it in the altitude room at Evolution, that gym that I go to. So the altitude room was like
Yeah,
10,000 feet, man.
and you still finished 16th in the world.
Yeah, it was that made it a lot harder though. That probably added like realistically, like if I had to guess, I probably added 2, 3 splits to my speed. You push a little too hard into the like your anaerobic threshold, and boom. So you have to back off a little bit.
That might put you into like the top 10 in the world then,
Yeah, I think,
out of people who
it could
did
have.
it.
Yeah, I think it could have. So yeah, the bike, I can crush that Concept 2 bike. Other thing is, I went to occupational therapy for the first time today, which is cool.
Oh, how'd that go?
It was good. They worked mostly just with my wrists. Like she had me doing all kinds of like strength testing and flexibility and sort of coordination tests with my left wrist. This is like my left wrist is the most like affected part of my body. That's the part like, you
Is
know,
it?
this part and like this part can barely like bend, you know? And I think that's honestly, I think that's,
It's better than me.
oh yeah, let's see. Okay.
My right hand isn't bad,
Yeah.
but my left hand is.
Yeah.
So I have to take a bar, like a weighted bar, and just let it tip over and hold the
Oh,
end of it and
let it like
just
stretch it
open it
out.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes a big difference.
I think this is the source of my problems. Like I was having like some forearm tendonitis and like this shoulder tendonitis. This injury stretches back to like the head of the Charles in October because like I'm lacking like the finger dexterity in my left wrist. So I compensate by using like my whole arm, you know?
Right.
That makes sense. And so I use all this extra musculature that I shouldn't be using to just like flick my wrist at the end of the drive phase of the stroke. So instead I'm like cranking on it with my whole arm, you know? So I think that's the source of
Yeah.
my problem. So anyways, she gave me some exercises. I'll meet back up with her, some stretching and some stuff.
Yeah, that would be great if you can get that worked out.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. I think it'd be
Cool.
helpful.
So what else you got? You ran out of fingers. You had so many things you wanted to talk about. So
Oh yeah.
occupational therapy sounds successful.
This is a slight tangent too. I was reading the New York Times over the weekend. There was an article, I don't know if you saw it, about peptides.
I didn't. Was it
Oh,
good?
it's good. I think the biggest point to take away the article was that a lot of it's driven by like Silicon Valley entrepreneurs who sort of take like almost like an entrepreneurial approach to their own sort of health. You know, they're willing to experiment and try things. You know.
You know, that's been my experience with them.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like an experiment of one.
Yes, this is
And if
exactly
it
the
works for me, then I share it with a couple people and, they validate their own experiences and
yeah.
stuff like that. But
That's
it's,
exactly the way. This is exactly the way it works in Silicon. They were saying they have like peptide parties in Silicon Valley, like it's in San Jose, where
right.
people will get together and they'll like each bring their own peptide, and you inject yourself with it, whatever.
Exactly.
So yeah,
There
I'll
was a
send you
really
that. I'll send you
funny
the article.
South Park episode on Ozempic
Yeah, exactly,
when it
exactly.
came out. Well, I just put an order in for some new peptides today. MOTC,
Okay.
MOTSC. That's putting me into the mitochondria space
Mm,
and trying
okay.
to get that a little more active and a little stronger.
Yeah.
So we'll see how I respond to that.
One of the other ones they mentioned was like EPIT, Alon, Epitalot, something like that. That was another one that's popular apparently amongst all the Silicon Valley crowd as well.
Well, they're certainly cutting edge as far as their technologies go. So it
Yeah,
doesn't
exactly,
surprise me that they embrace that with the biohacking and the
exactly.
ability to feel a little more rejuvenated.
Hmm.
I've been staring at my big ass calendar and trying to fill it out with some audacious goals this year. So you okay there, bud?
Yeah, sorry. Failed. I
Uh,
choked on some water there, or as my wife says, like failed as a human being when you choke on water. She's like, that's when I failed as a human being.
I know
Yeah.
the feeling. The So I've filled it out and I've been debating whether or not I'm going to challenge myself with something that's like a Spartan race or maybe like a 6K, a 10K Spartan race.
Yeah.
So it'd be 25 obstacles, 10K, and to make it extra juicy, it's at altitude. It's at Big Bear Mountain in California. Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm gonna at least put it on my calendar and start training for it and see how my training goes. The cardiac training is going to be a little tricky with what I'm dealing with, but I think it might force me into a lot of zone 2 training,
Yeah.
and I could just load up on that and maybe reset my rhythms and get my rhythmic heartbeat back under control
Yeah.
if I do enough zone 2.
Is there a recovery period for an ablation? I would think you're good to go immediately, within a day or two again,
Yeah, I think so. And I got a little discouraged with some of the side effects or some of the consequences of an ablation. So it made me look at the probability or the possibility of resetting it with breath work and steady state cardio and
Yeah.
less stress in my life and all the things that we should be doing anyway. Better sleep to tackle it versus medical or medicine. So I'm going to give that a shot for the next I got 3 weeks before I see my cardiologist again.
Okay.
Uh, so maybe I can make some progress with that and put off the ablation for some steady state zone 2
Yeah.
cardio
Yeah.
and get in shape at the same time.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, I know that's gonna hurt you doing all that stuff, So
Exactly. So I think I'm going to put the Spartan race on the calendar and try to recruit a couple people to do it, and maybe I'll get you to sign up for it as well.
yeah. When did you say?
And we'll
When
make
is
a
the date
day
of it
of
again?
something in the middle of May.
All right. I'm supposed to have lunch next week with my buddy Jay, who I think I mentioned he's like the cyclist guy, but he's the guy who's been doing a bunch of
Yeah.
Spartan races too. I might be able to get him in there too. So
Yeah. He can carry me for sections of it.
yeah.
He could be like a Sherpa. That's what I need. I need a Sherpa to like strap me to their back in case I
Yeah.
slow down. Or I shouldn't
Training.
say in case I slow down, for the inevitable slowdown of that race at some point. I have a crazy story of going to the New York Row
Yeah.
Christmas event. They had a 500-meter race,
Yeah.
and I decided that I was going to participate despite having gone there in jeans. And
Yeah. Sure. Whatever. I mean, it's 500 meters, right? But
it's 500 meters. Like, how bad could it be?
yeah.
So someone ends up giving me a pair of shorts. I get in a pair of shorts and hop on the erg. I have 4 kids on the front holding it down and 2 on
Yeah.
the back holding it down. And at that time, I'm crossfitting and I'm in my mid 40s and I'm
Okay.
pretty strong and pretty
Yeah.
fit. To preface it, it was pre-diagnosis.
Yeah.
And I end up ripping a 117.3.
You illustrate a point. Like I was gonna say, like the CrossFitters crushed the 500. Like did you guys can just like generate so much more raw power, you know?
Right. It's just like deadlifting.
Exactly. That's incredible. 117 for that's incredible.
Yeah, it was kind of cold and just kind of like jump on an erg and just give
Yeah.
it a rip. And I got a little plastic medallion that proved my supremacy that day. And it
Yeah,
was a
bro.
great memory. I'm super happy I ended up doing it.
That's what I was gonna say. Actually, like
Yeah.
these CrossFit guys, like they can crush it for 500 or 1,000 meters. You know, so
Yeah. But once you get past that, it's a different world.
yeah, exactly.
You hit the 1 minute mark and you figure, worst case, regardless how you feel, it's only 17 more seconds. You just kind of mentally go there and just do what you need to do. Of course, my stroke rate was probably in the upper 40s to low 50s.
Totally. If you haven't done your zone 2 row rowing machine on the rower, you know, that's where it comes back to bite you.
Yeah.
You know? Anything beyond like 1,000 meters, like I did. Okay, for one random story, my brother-in-law, he has like his son's like 25. His name's Logan. Logan's an awesome kid.
Uh-huh.
He's a big, huge kid though. He's
But it
like
should be. His name's Logan.
yeah. He's like a power lifter guy. So whatever, we were at their house like one for I think we were for Christmas or something like that, and we were doing a workout on the rowing machine, some like CrossFit type of workout, you know, and anything like it was like increasingly longer distance of intervals. So anything that was like 200, 250, 500, 750, Logan would like beat me either by a lot or by a little. But as soon as we crossed like the 700
Right.
meter, 50-meter threshold, it was like it was game over, you know. So
Yeah, you just had to bring him out to the deep water.
exactly. Fun on the rowing machine.
Yeah, there's one of my favorite workouts was a CrossFit workout called Karen,
Yeah.
which is 150 wall balls.
Oh yeah.
It's a 20-pound wall ball, and you do a full squat and you throw it up to a target and you catch it and you do as many as you can for 150 reps.
Yeah.
Or you do it as quick as you can for 150 reps. So I got a bright idea one day that I would combine that with a 2K row.
Yeah.
And so I did 500 meters on the rower, 50 wall balls, 500 meters, 50 wall balls, 500 meters, 50 wall balls, 500 meters. And it just kind of crushed my soul. And if you do Karen and you're in phenomenal shape, you can go sub 5.
Okay.
So, the problem is the motion is essentially the same muscle groups
Yeah.
that are
Absolutely.
used when you're rowing. So it's kind of like there's no place to hide. And so if you row a decent 2K, you can pull somewhere between 7 and 8
Yeah.
in conjunction with the wall balls and not a lot of transition time. It's pretty intense. So I considered anything under 14 minutes to be pretty intense and pretty good effort. I would imagine you could probably pull that off today.
I think that sounds fun. I mean, not fun. It sounds fun in sort of a type 2 what type of fun.
Miserable kind of way.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I guess maybe the key with that, I'm just thinking out loud here, is you can find the right intensity where you can kind of just run that sort of your anaerobic threshold sort of pace, that speed, you know.
Yeah.
You don't
You flirt with it the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. You know, utterly blow up, you know. Don't go off at like 135 for one of your 500s, whatever else you're.
You're shooting for negative splits ideally, but even that can be ambitious if you have an aggressive split.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes
But it makes
to work out what you think is a good pace for negative splits, but it ain't happening. So
yeah. Well, on any given day, the best of plans get blown up.
yeah.
So, but I need to work my way back into fitness for that with like an 8-pound wall ball and 8-minute 2K and kind of see if I can actually pull that off again.
Yeah.
And then I can work to the 14-pound wall ball, and it would be good for my shoulders and good for my rowing to try to get that workout back in, even just to get it in the books. Even if it takes me 25 minutes or 30 minutes, it would just be notable to do it.
Yeah. Here's what we should do. We do a Zoom workout. Me and him go to the gym, do this workout, and we'll hook you up on Zoom. We do the workout together, the three of us.
I love it.
Yeah.
What are you guys going to do for the extra 20 minutes when you're waiting for me to finish?
I don't know. Make coffee. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds awful, but incredibly fun.
Maybe that's one of the workouts that we do in preparation for get our stuff together.
Yeah, because if I can't do that, I have no business showing up for Spartan,
Yeah.
especially at altitude.
Jay and I could do it in the altitude room as well. So we could, if we really want to suffer.
Exactly. Maybe I'll have to come up to Portland for some training.
Certainly. Yeah, that'd be fun. I think
I just have to get a baseline. And I'm excited to get Helen on the program.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, what are you eating today?
I was thinking of I was going to go make dinner in about an hour. Here's how I was thinking. We got some salmon. I think I might just throw some salmon in the air fryer. We have some collard greens. I might make some rice. That's like my lazy man's pretty easy but tasty meal. Like throw some rice in the Instant Pot, so throw some salmon in the air fryer and then saute up some collard greens. How's that?
Sounds pretty good. With salmon in the Northwest, do you just basically walk down to the river and stick your hand in there and grab one?
They're just handing it out on street corners.
We're going not salmon fishing, although I'm sure there'll be some of that. We're going halibut fishing in Alaska later this year.
Oh, nice. That's good stuff, man. Halibut's tasty. Halibut's delicious.
Yeah, so it's we hope to subsidize the trip with lots of fish.
Sweet. Yeah, because if you get halibut fishing, it's like $30, you know?
Exactly. There's in the Alaskan halibuts are upwards of 200 pounds, so it's
sweet.
It's pretty huge if you can hook one.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. If this episode helped, share it with a coach, an athlete, or someone who needs a little momentum.
And if you have a topic you want us to tackle, send it in. We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for listening. Catch you on the next one.